Alrighty, hope you all are doing good. Give me 1 second, get myself straightened here. I'm gonna go ahead and try to do an awesome painting for you guys. A nice little oval in here with some contact paper. So I did cut it out. It's a little flimsy. It's got little holes, little bubbles in it. So hopefully we'll see at the end. There might be some paint that might go right underneath it, but we'll pull it off and hopefully it'll be an awesome painting. So the colors I'm using today are going to be titanium white, Prussian blue, ivory black, burnt umber, alizarin crimson, sap green, phthalo green, yellow ochre, and this is Hansa yellow medium. And I did go ahead and put a little bit of some white medium right up top. I'm using Bob Ross liquid white. And then I went ahead right here and I made a color of alizarin crimson and some of my Prussian blue. So it's like a nice little purple color. And I went ahead and just scrubbed that onto the dark. I did, before all that, I went ahead and put some black gesso, which is acrylic base, so make sure you let that dry. And then I went ahead and scrubbed this color on there. And that's where we're at, okay? And with that, let's go ahead and start rock and rolling. If you have a 2-inch brush, I'm gonna go right into Prussian blue. Just gonna pull some down, tap it in there. There we go. And with me, as always, remember, if you want to try this painting, take a deep breath, enjoy it, and hopefully have a good outcome, okay? And let's go ahead and rock and roll. So I'll just come up here and start doing these nice little crisscross X's and just kind of bring them down. Of course, get a little fuzzy. And we go ahead and just try to knock that off. And there you go. And I'm going to go ahead and just bring it down a little bit into the darker color that I put down here, okay? And then very softly, we'll go ahead and do something like that. I just want to darken it just a little bit more right up here. Just a little bit more. Anytime I paint, I always say less is best, okay? The less you use, the better. The less paint you have on here, the better, because you put layer after layer. So if you have too much paint, you run into problems, okay? And that would be it, basically, for the sky. I'm going to go ahead now and use that 2-inch brush that I used with this color here. And I'm going to come in and just start to kind of tap some stuff over. There we go. Just nice little distant trees in the background, okay? Same thing here. Just tapping some over. You can come over. You need to grab a little bit more. Remember, I've already put some dark color on here, okay? And you just come in and just kind of tap it in there. Just like that. I mean, it's very faint. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's back there, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and just put that down in just a second. I'm going to grab a palette knife. I'm just going to kind of scratching some twigs and branches that are way back here. You can barely see them, but they're there, okay? All right, go ahead and clean that knife. And I'm going to go ahead and use a lot of brushes today. So I'm going to go ahead right now and I'm just going to use a 1-inch brush. And I'm going to grab a little bit of this white. I'll just go right into this color that I have. There we go. Just tap it. Let's pull some down. And we'll start to add some stuff here. Maybe I'll add just a touch more white so it kind of sticks out. There we go. Just tap, and just come in and there we go. Nice little bush right there, okay? Remember, this is way in the distance, okay? But just come and tap, and you can just pop in some nice little bushes, okay? There we go. And I'm gonna grab a different brush, kind of mix back and forth with different colors. I'm gonna put this one down. I'm gonna grab another 1-inch brush, and I'm gonna go into here and start to make a little bit of a yellow and a green, a little bit of sap green, just a touch. Maybe I add a little bit of yellow ochre in there. Grab a little bit more. There we go. And then same thing, just find a spot and kind of just using the corner of that brush, tap something in there, okay? There we go. Same thing, maybe right there. Something else, okay? Now I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna grab that other 1-inch brush, and I wanna make a nice kind of bluer color here. I'm gonna grab some of that Prussian blue, and go a little bit more, and just tap, tap, tap. And maybe pop something right here. There we go. There we go. I like that color. It's a nice, beautiful color. Maybe we'll tap something else right here. There we go. All these little things, okay? Let's go ahead and grab a little bit of this crimson. We'll throw that in here. Grab a touch of that white. And just, okay? Tap it, tap it. Yeah, let's go that way. There we go. Oh, that's a nice color there. And that's it. Phthalo. And kind of load it up on both sides and then tap, okay? And let's see what we can get. Ooh, that's a nice color there. Maybe, there we go. I think that came out nice and pretty there. I'm gonna go ahead and just grab a liner brush. I'm gonna dip into some of my paint thinner. If you have mineral spirits or paint thinner, you can also use a thinning liquid. And I'm gonna come right into here. I'm gonna add some of this brown to it. There we go. Remember, that's a burnt umber, okay? Just spin it, and we'll just come in and start to add some little twiggies here, there, okay? Make sure the paint's kind of thin or it's not gonna really stick. It won't slide. So you kind of just want to make sure it's nice and thin. And these are very, very faint lines, okay? There we go. Shaky hands will help you out. Shaky hands will definitely help you out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clean that. And now I'm just going, I want a couple of dark ones. So I'm gonna go right into my ivory black. Do the same thing. See how it's nice and thin? See how it's, you just twist it right to a point. And you can come in and start getting some other ones. Yeah, there we go. It's all kind of far back in the distance, so you don't want too much detail, okay? Go ahead and clean that. And I'm gonna go right back to the brush that has the purple on it. I'm gonna come right back into here. And I wanna go ahead and add some more crimson into here and a touch of this blue. There we go. There we go. And then I'm just gonna come over here and just get a little bit of some Bob Ross white medium. Not much, just a little bit, just enough to kind of thin it out. That's it. Just want to thin it down. Same thing, tap, tap, tap. And let's go ahead and try to get something else. There we go. There we go. And maybe there's one right here as well. There we go. And then I'm gonna put this down. I'm gonna go into that yellow again. And then I'm gonna come over here. And there we go. Put something nice and green, a little bit closer. A little bit closer. There you go. Make sure you have these little dark pockets, okay? You need those little dark pockets. Same color. Maybe I'll add a little bit of green to it. A little bit more sap green. Remember, both sides. And then, okay? And maybe, there we go. There's a beautiful one. There you go. And we'll come over here and maybe, there we go. Just with the corner of the brush. Just with the corner of the brush. There we go. Nice another little bush. Go right back to the one that's purple. And we'll add a little bit, just a touch of that white in here. Maybe we'll make this one a little bit more on the redder side. And then same thing. Maybe, oh, that's nice. That one came out good. That's a nice color right there. It's beautiful, huh? There we go. And maybe right there's another. There we go. It's just different colors working, okay? I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this white. I'm gonna go right into this green. And same thing that we've been doing, okay? Just trying to get a little bit different colors. There we go. There's a nice one. There. There we go. Nice, huh? And you know what would be nice right here? Probably some water. So I'm gonna grab another 2-inch brush. I got a ton of brushes, so I don't have to keep washing. And I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this white. Remember, you put that nice dark color down there already, okay? So we'll come in, we'll say the whites right here, and just push it all the way down. Just touch and push it down, okay? There we go. There we go. Maybe just a touch. Get the white out. There we go. Now we're straight down, okay? Straight down, and then just across. There you go. So got some nice, beautiful water working. I'm gonna go ahead, just use this little number 5 palette knife. And I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this black and some of this burnt umber. There we go. And I just want to come in and just kind of fill in, just put in some land. There we go. Maybe it comes out like so. There we go. Let's try over here. Maybe this comes just like that. So we get just a little bit of some land back here. There we go. I'm gonna grab just a touch of white, not too much. Just come over here. Grab a little bit more of that umber. There. And just here and there, okay? Just here and there. Maybe the lights come in and we got a little bit striking right there. Maybe a little bit right here. Okay? Think of where the lights come in and then kind of mimic it. So maybe right here. And then there we go. I think that's pretty cool. Maybe a little bit more, maybe just a touch more right there. So got some nice, beautiful land working. All right, just cleaning the knife real quick. I think I'll grab my palette knife again, or excuse me, not palette knife, my liner brush. Dip into some of my paint there. And I'm gonna go right back into some black now. Nice and thin. See how it's thin, how it's just leaking down? There you go. And I just want to come in and just pop in some little branches and stuff. And we'll probably put some lighter ones as well. This way, let me put this one down. Sometimes you have to kind of condition your brushes, so that one needs a little work. I'm gonna go ahead and just use a different liner brush. Go right back into the black. There we go. And I'll just come in. There. Remember, shaky hands. Anytime you do twigs and branches, you want shaky hands. There we go. There we go. Maybe right here. We'll get a little bit more of that pink there, back into here. There. There. That looks cool. We'll go ahead and clean that. Dry it out real quick. I'm just going to dip into some white medium. Just some white medium. Come right over here. Let me darken it just a little bit. There we go. I don't want it too bright. And then we'll just find some spots like right here. There we go. And maybe there's a couple little twiggies over back here. Maybe. There we go. I'm telling you, the dark is your friend. And you pop some white into it, and things just pop out. See? There we go. Maybe we'll have something like this. There we go. A couple more of these. Just a couple more. Right there is perfect. If you're painting, wherever you think there should be a branch, that's where there should be a branch, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and just come over here and maybe start working on this darker stuff over here. There we go. And we'll put some stuff there as well. There we go. Let me grab just a touch of that pink there. I like the color. I don't want to mess with it by adding a little bit more white. So I just went with paint thinner. Keeps it more of the color that it is. And maybe something like that. Maybe. There we go. Remember, have fun. I like to flick up when I'm doing branches. It's a little bit easier. Like you get these little ridges for myself, so it helps me out. But whatever, whatever's more comfortable for you, doesn't matter. Maybe something's coming out to the side, maybe something like that. And why not? There we go. A couple more branches back here, something maybe a little bit deeper. There we go. Let me go ahead and clean that. All right, and I'm going to put some stuff there. I'm just going to use this, just stick with the green. Let's come over here. Just tap. And just want to put something right here, right now, and then we'll start working on the bigger trees here, okay? And maybe just a little bit more. Just a little bit more right here. There we go. Wherever you think there should be something, there should probably be something, okay? So just put it in there. Trust your instinct, okay? And I just want a little bit more dark. So I'm just going to come over here. Just going to grab this little chunk here. Just put it here. There we go. And I'm just going to use my 2-inch brush and just tap over some darker color, okay? Just going to tap over here. There we go. And maybe a little bit more over here. Just going to add a little bit more color into here because I'm running out. So just some blue and some of the crimson. Some of my Prussian blue and crimson. And I'm just going to come over and just, there we go. Let's get a little bit more dark in here, okay? Just a tad bit more. There. I want to leave the stuff that's in the background. I don't know if you can see it, but it just gives it a lot more distance. And that's what we're looking for, okay? A little bit more distance. There, pop that out like that. Come over here. I'm gonna grab a little bit more color again. Just a little bit of that crimson. A little bit more, and some of that blue, okay? And just there, make it a little bit darker. There we go. There we go. Something like that. Okay, let me put that down. And I think maybe this side I'll do more purple, and maybe that side a little bit of the green. Let's go ahead and just mix it up with some color, make my life easier. So some crimson and some blue. There we go. Just scoop it and poop it on there, okay? Scoop and poop. Smush it in. Make sure you clean your knife. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and dip into some Bob Ross white medium. Go right into here. Got a nice purpley dark kind of color there. It will add a little bit more white, kind of lighten it just a little bit. There we go. Remember, push it in there, okay? And then you're just gonna come in and just tap, okay? And there we go. Tap into there. Tap into there. Maybe do something like that. There we go. There we go. We got some nice things working here. Just tap, tap, tap. Very softly, and use the corner of the brush, okay? Get a lot of detail in there. We'll add a little bit more twigs to kind of make things pop out, but that's a nice color. And I'm gonna go ahead, grab some of that phthalo green, and come up right up in here, make a nice color, okay? Remember, both sides, and then, okay? And just with the corner, you're gonna put the beautiful, beautiful leaves in, okay? There we go. Here. There we go. Try to think kind of shape and how you think things should be, and I guess like Mr. Ross said, man, kind of think like a tree if you can. It might help you out. But here. And just take your time, because if you start popping a lot of them off, it does start feeling pretty decent, and you kind of can't stop. There we go. Maybe something like that. Maybe just a little bit more. Good. And this is where it starts to feel good. I kind of don't want to stop, but I'm going to have to make myself stop. There we go. I think that's beautiful. Once again, let's grab a liner brush. I'm going to dip into some of my paint thinner on this one. And I'm going to go right back into this color. Add just a touch of white. Kind of lighten it just a little bit. There we go. There we go. See how it lightened up? Nice, huh? Spin it to a nice point, okay? And then just find some couple little spots and just kind of, there we go. Just trying to make things a little bit more interesting, I guess. Maybe, there we go. Some more up there. There. Okay, and then a couple over here. Maybe this one comes up like this. There. little bit more. It's just not sliding good for me. So just got to thin out just a little bit more. Main thing is just have paint on your brush, but then you just need to thin it out, okay? But there we go. Just little branches here, there. Just little branches here, there. There we go. Maybe we'll put one last little thing right here. And I got that brush with the dark paint already on it, so I'm gonna come over here. I'll just use this brush here and just, there we go. There we go. Kind of closes things up and pushes this back a little bit more. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. And then, a little addictive, I'm sorry. A little addictive for me. There we go. But you see how it's like kind of like that? You want to do that as well. Okay? It kind of will help you out. I'm going to go ahead, go right back into this thinned out paint right here. Let's go ahead and just put in some branches right now. Just make our lives a little easier. There we go. Most of this is going to get covered up, but at least it's there. So some stuff will stick out. Here. Maybe. And we'll have some that kind of poke up a little bit higher. Maybe there. Maybe right over here. Just have fun. There we go. Clean that. And I'll just use this brush here. This time I'm gonna old school it. Bring it down. Straight down, straight down, straight down. Okay? And then come over here and just real soft. Just pop in some beautiful bushes, okay? There we go. Let's add a little bit of that yellow ochre into here. And then come in, and then same thing. Maybe. There we go. Let's add, you know what, have the other brush. Let me dip into a little bit of that Bob Ross medium. I'm gonna go right in here, straight down, straight down, straight down. And then come over here, and we'll pop in, ooh, look at that. That's a nice one, huh? That's a nice one. Okay, we'll use that same color, and we'll just pop something right there, okay? Now we just need to fill up something right there. You know, it would be nice, maybe a nice blue one. Let me put this brush down. I got a ton of brushes here. I'm gonna go with another 1-inch brush. I'm just gonna grab some of this white. I'm gonna go into my blue here. We get a little bit more, and I'm just gonna dip small amount of that medium again. Maybe just a touch of that red. Okay, remember, straight down, straight down, straight down. Turn the brush, okay? And you'll come in and just pop. Pop this beautiful bush out. And I just want something right behind it, just a little bit. I'm gonna go into my phthalo green. Get a nice color here. Straight down, straight down, straight down. And then right here. There we go. That came out pretty cool. Maybe right here also. Why not? Okay. So I think we got a wonderful painting. I just want to put in a couple Maybe a couple more twigs. Maybe I'll just leave it. Let's go ahead and just pull this and see what we got. There you go. So I have a little bit of leakage right there, right up here. But other than that, I thought this was a beautiful painting. I'm gonna grab a liner brush again. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna dip into some just straight white medium. I'll go right here. I'm gonna go ahead, I think, and sign this guy. I'll just come right over here and sign it. There we go. Thank you so much if you've been watching. If you like everything, go ahead, check out my channel. If you want to subscribe, that would be awesome. But really want to thank you for taking the time out of your day to check me out and watch me paint. So until the next time we get to rock and roll, you stay safe out there and take care of yourself.